Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori and this is Africa 54. The Central African Republic remains a battlefield on Wednesday as heavy fighting erupted near the airport in Bangui. The clashes peaked when Christian militia known as the Anti-Balaka blocked an attempt to evacuate Muslims. United Nations official says the fighting prevented Valerie Amos, UN's Undersecretary General for Humanitarian Affairs, from traveling to the northern part of the country. The former French colony has been racked by sectarian violence despite the deployment of African and French peacekeepers. Tens of thousands of civilians are being forced to flee. Now, for more on the situation in the C.A.R, viewers, and Luke joins us by phone from Bangui and tell us exactly what happened. There were accusations and counter-accusations. What happened today?
Yeah, the Chadian army was trying to evacuate some Muslim civilians from the capital. They ran into some ambush and some barricades thrown up by the Anti-Balaka near the airport, and the situation devolved fairly rapidly. Hospital sources tell me there were at least 2 dead and many wounded. When I passed by there, we saw still smoking barricades, burning tires, young men with machetes running around. The tensions, the emotions are running really high here in Bangui, in particular vis-a-vis the Chadian army. They're accused by the population of pretty serious, heavy-handed tactics against civilians, even since Balaka was in power. And just yesterday, the same group of Chadian military that came down to evacuate civilians went through the town of Damara further north and is accused of firing on the population there and killing people. Hence the heavy tensions today, and hence the emotional outburst that we saw near the airport.
Yes, now we have about 6,000 African MISCA troops there and about 1,600 French troops. What's happening? Is there confusion as to their operations there? Some are accused of attacking civilians. What are you hearing? Looks like we're having trouble with a telephone line there with Anne Luke. We hope to rejoin her as soon as we can get through. But authorities in the C.A.R have declared war on the Anti-Balaka. The militia are accused of carrying out horrific attacks against Muslim civilians. And our viewers, Anne Luke, who we just spoke with a minute ago, has a report on this group. Just who are the Anti-Balaka and what do they want? And a warning here, some of the images in this report may be disturbing.
Bands of Anti-Balaka continue to roam the countryside of the Central African Republic. They are accused of slaughtering Muslim civilians as revenge for atrocities committed by the Muslim Seleka rebel coalition during its 9 months in power. Many say they came to the capital to fight Seleka in December and force out the government of Seleka leader Michel de Toja. But international troops in the C.A.R say they are, quote, outlaws, as the movement devolved into looting and mob violence. Some Anti-Balaka turned to setting up roadblocks on country roads. Teenagers brandishing weapons and extorting money. French and African Union troops are responding with force. Mediation could prove difficult. This loose federation of militia groups has several leaders claiming to speak on its behalf. Some say continued insecurity here is the work of, quote, uncontrolled elements and fake Anti-Balaka. Joachim Kokate represented the Anti-Balaka at a regional summit in January.
It is the time for justice. We just need to target those organizing theft, looting, and extrajudicial killings. They should be sought out, arrested, and turned over to the authorities, and they will answer for their acts.
Many Anti-Balaka tell VOA they want the same treatment Seleka rebels are getting. They want to be barracked, paid, fed, and given the chance to join the National Army as part of disarmament. Some see themselves as liberators of the country. Anti-Balaka fighters are recognizable by the talisman they wear.
See this? A Kalashnikov bullet. You could fire on him and it wouldn't go through. You could stab him and it wouldn't go through. And there are others. Grenades can't hurt us.
The conflict here has increasingly been cast as sectarian. But the Anti-Balaka, made up of both animists and Christians, insist their mission is patriotic, not religious. Their leaders say the Anti-Balaka number in the tens of thousands. The movement has its roots in self-defense militias that have been around primarily in the West since the 1990s. They were locals' response to general lawlessness and state indifference. Those militias were joined by ex-military, loyal to former President François Bozizé, after he was ousted by Seleka last March. French and African Union troops continue to recover large caches of weapons and munitions from the militia, and have made some arrests. Anne Look, VOA News, Bangui.